We're back. The time is now.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
Early in the morning.
Wakey, eggs and bacon.
And UFC Breakfast with Corey Cutter and Sam Zaden. Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. UK. And UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Breakfast Show here on NUFC Talk TV. Happy Monday, everybody. How are we feeling? I hope everyone had an absolutely lovely weekend with the Toon back on winning ways, guys. A very, very, very good Monday morning to you all. How are you, Sammy boy?
Yeah, good, mate. How about you?
I am absolutely cracker, mate. Chris has added some festive tinge to
Yeah,
the
I know. I
live
can
stream
see.
now.
He
What's
sure
going
has.
on?
It's that time of the year, is it?
The bloke decided to make a 45-minute intro, guys. So sorry about that introduction. It was longer. The introduction was longer than the game on the weekend, guys. Chris is stitching us up. But at least we've got Santa. We've got the Christmas lights, guys. It's feeling very, very festive. But, guys, before we get into the crack of things, if I could remind you, like always, just put a little like on the comment, guys. It goes a massive, massive way. Helping me and Semi and everyone here at NUFC Talk TV. And guys, get all your comments in. As you know, here on the Breakfast Show, we try and make this as fan interactive as possible. So any questions you guys have, just put a little Q in front of that. And me and Semi will make sure we get to that throughout the show. Another thing, guys, we do have Eddie Howe's presser coming in. I'm not too sure what time. I think it should be around 9 o'clock. So Win and Chris, or I think Win and Gary, will be here to come help me and Semi out with that press conference, guys. So stay tuned for that. But Semi boy, back to winning ways, mate. Back to winning ways. An away win at that. A lot of our curses have been broken in that game, mate. What'd you make of the game, Semi boy? What'd you make of that game? Because it was an absolute belter, mate.
It was a very good game, actually. Look, the first thing is, when you choose the right players in the right formation, I'm sure you're going to get the best out of the team. And obviously we saw that. Lewis Hall, Tino as our fullbacks, mate, we're just a whole different side, aren't we?
Night and day difference, isn't it?
Mate, it's unbelievable. Difference. It's honestly unbelievable. And having Ramsdale back there, that was so smooth to just getting out of our own end. If we needed to pass back to him, he was nice, cool, calm, collected. He knew how to pass it. I mean, it was beautiful to watch. Mate, it was an outstanding performance. Lewis Miley, mate, he had an outstanding game. I told you, mate, if you play Lewis Miley with Bruno and Tonali, Tonali gets a whole different midfield.
Player, bro. And Tonali wasn't even there, bro. And what a player.
It wasn't even there. Imagine if you have Tonali and Bruno helping Lewis Miley. I'm telling you, a great midfield. And the boys up front definitely did their jobs. Alanga had a good game as well. Got his first assist as well. Mate, you know, hopefully we just kick on from here. Just, mate, choose the players in the right position and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think this was I don't think if we had enough games to learn off from this season, I think this one is going to be one of our biggest learning experiences of the season for Eddie. Like we've said this multiple times before, when we saw that back five against Marseille, I think 80% of the fan base knew that the writing was on the walls that game. It just wasn't the right setup. We saw it in Leeds earlier in the season. The back five, for whatever reason, it just does not suit our style of play. I think we lose too much in midfield when we play that five at the back, man. So hopefully this is a learning lesson for Eddie. He knows now that this 4-3-3 with our fullbacks starting the game, that is our best way to success. It is the key to success. But we'll get into this game, Sammy boy. When you first saw the team sheet, were you a little bit apprehensive when Tonali wasn't in there, man? Because when I did not see Tonali, I was
no, it's fine. No. There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you giving Tonali a rest, Bruno a rest, giving any of our main players a rest. As long as you put somebody there that's in the right position. Don't go put me a midfielder as a right back and then a left winger as a striker and then a centre back as a left back. Don't do that to me. You know what I mean? Soon he's going to put a striker as a goalkeeper. Like that's the point. I think if you put players in their positions, you're always going to get the best out of that player, no matter who that player is.
Yeah, 100%. I was pretty wrapped with the starting 11, to be honest.
I was so happy. I was actually very happy to see Alenga as well there. Like, you know what I mean, starting. Because he needs to start to hit form. So the only way you're going to do that is by you playing him. You know?
Yeah, well, like you said, I think Tonali definitely deserved the rest. The bloke's played nearly every minute of competitive football for us this season. So he definitely needed the rest. But I think it's just pretty brave, man, from Eddie to rest Tonali. Obviously, with the amount of criticism that bloke was getting throughout the week after that Marseille game, it would have been very, very easy for him to just chuck in his best players. He knows what's going to work.
Well, really, Joe Vincent didn't even play against Marseille.
Yeah, so that was obviously the thinking behind it, to try and rest both of them between the two games. But still, man, in saying that, it's still massive, massive credit to Eddie for being able to have the bravery to rest Tonali, because I definitely don't think I would have if I was in his position. Not a chance, man. Not a chance. So
look, it was a fantastic start from us. I mean, that first goal in the first minute, I did not even celebrate that goal, right? I told you. I told you, we're scoring in the first 5 minutes. They looked at me like, I'll laugh if we're scoring the first. And we did it against Marseille too. We scored in the 6th minute against Marseille. I told you, we score early goals. We just needed to know how to control the game. After we scored that first goal, we sort of we had a couple of chances, but then we were on the back foot for a good solid 15 minutes. Everything came at us. But then after that, we sort of held the ball. And once we held the ball, we just kicked on from there. But that's what it is, mate. You just got to hold the ball, mate. Control the game. Once you control the game, you're going to create more chances. You're going to end up, obviously, defeating the other side. So.
Well, it's exactly what you said, Semi. As soon as I saw that first, mind you guys, it was the quickest goal of the season. It was Brian Mbuemo's goal. So fastest Premier League goal of the season. And me and Semi, I think we said
Cities. Foden scored that same day in the 58th second.
Did he actually?
The game before us.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Yes. I thought that was the quickest goal. So, look, man, but regardless, like you said, we said multiple times on the breakfast show going into that game, if we score first, that means absolutely nothing. In fact, to be honest, when we score first, it was pretty big indicator that we're going to go on to lose that game. So, like you, Sammy boy, when I saw that first goal in that first
alarm bells ringing, mate.
Bro,
the sirens going off.
I was over the moon, man, but I was just waiting for Barry to come run up the other end and just smack it straight back into our goal. But look, man, it shows that we are learning once again from our things. But we'll get into it, Sammy. So, absolutely fantastic start from Alenga before that goal, just to set that press, man, to be aggressive 100%. On the front foot. I thought that was fantastic by Alenga. We really see that he does complement our press when we have big Nick Walter-Mate up there. It's almost like he's doing the running for two people. So that just set the game off on the right foot. And then it was absolutely fantastic corner, bro. Absolutely bullet corner for Malik Thiaw's first goal.
And who was it?
I think it was Miley, wasn't it?
Who whipped it in?
I think it was Miley, wasn't it? Who whipped it in?
Was it Miley?
I'm pretty certain it was Miley. I'm pretty sure, guys. Let us know in the comments if it was Miley who whipped in that first corner for Malik Thiaw. I'm pretty certain it was, but whoever it was, bro.
I thought it was Howe.
Could be. It's one of the two. Whoever was wearing those pink bright boots, mate. Whoever that was, they were the one who got the assist. But absolute bullet header by Malik Thiaw. And you saw after the game, Walter-Mate and Malik Thiaw talking. Apparently, Big Nick was walking him through how to get his head on the end of the ball, man. So the big Germans are working together, and they're working together to make the Toon score, man. So absolutely fantastic first goal, Semi. But I feel like after that first goal, from about the 5-minute mark to the 20-minute mark, kind of same old, to be honest. After that, man, we saw we just sat back for that 15-minute period after that first.
That's
goal.
What I mean there.
Yeah,
whenever they held position.
Yeah, 100%, man. You just saw us doing the same old that we usually do, just inviting everyone back. Didn't have a single player forward for the counter attack, man. So I was just waiting for that goal to come in by Everton. But we did manage to weather that storm, Semi, and then after that second goal, the game just completely changed, didn't it?
You know what? Before that second goal, we did control position a bit. Once we controlled that position, we sort of gave ourselves a bit of momentum, and it sort of fell on our lap with that goal. I mean, thank you very much, Jordan Pickford, for your T-Rex arms, but but in saying that, the SMB there, mate, did us a favour by nuttying himself and Miley scoring. And then after that, we just kicked on, didn't we?
Yeah, but you got to admit, bro, for that next 15 minutes, I think it was from the 5-minute mark to about the 20th minute mark, we didn't.
Yeah, really I had my heart in my hand, didn't I?
Just not the right way to go about defending a lead, man. Like you saw, as soon as after that 20-minute period, and we had Elenga on the front foot pressing again, and we were going at them. Everton, they shelled in themselves. So instead of inviting all of this pressure, like we've seen countless times throughout this season, as soon as we decided, you know what, we've got the goal, let's have a bit about us, and we started to go at them, the game just completely changed, man. And like you said, absolutely fantastic. The shot by Lewis Miley was pretty poor, man, to be honest. But thanks to, like you said, the T-Rex arms of Pickford,
it wasn't a bad shot. It wasn't a bad shot. It was just very, very bad keeping.
But that was shocking, eh?
It was straight at him. Like Pickford should have done a lot better there. Like, let's face it. I mean, he should have done a lot better, especially being England's number one. I mean, you shouldn't be allowing goals like that. But then again, look, mistakes do happen. There's nothing wrong with mistakes in games, but it's just whenever you continually do them like the way Pope was doing it. Still, in saying that, like after that 15-minute period, like we sort of knew it was going to happen, didn't we? Like as soon as we scored that goal, we knew we were going to go and sit back. I don't mind us doing that sometimes, but not whenever we have been playing the way we've been playing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fine for you to sit back for a bit, let that team get onto you a bit. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But we did it the right way by us going back at them, and then we just controlled the game from there. And the thing is, our performances, like I said, have been that bad. It's not the other team is good enough to beat us. We are beating ourselves. Especially whenever 100%. You're losing to West Ham and you're losing to Brentford, but just the way you're playing is what's the worst part about it. But like I said, with that game in particular, it was a great game from us, and we just dominated it for most of it, and he obviously showed on the scoreboard.
Yeah, like you said, I don't care if we want to defend the lead, but there's certain ways to defend the lead, even with parking the bus. Like the way that we've been parking the bus after going up with some of these recent games, we didn't have a single player in front of this parking the bus. Like there was not one player who, if we decided to break out of this, we didn't have one single player in front of us to counter attack with. So, and like I said, we started seeing about 15 minutes of that against Everton, and it's like the boys just woke up. They learned from their lessons. They came on the front foot. And look what happened. We scored a second goal. That game, in that 15-minute period, man, it could have easily been 1-1. But the boys snapped out of it after that 15-minute break. We got our second goal. And then after that, man, like it was literally a different game. I don't think we sat back for a single minute after that. Just completely went at them, man. Completely went at them.
Especially after that second goal, we started dominating them even more. And then Elenga down the flank just to Voldemari, and a nice, beautiful chip that as well. Couldn't get to it. Mr. T-Rex there.
He's going to have to get his arms extended at the elbows, bro.
I swear to God, it's like...
You know those plastic things that you pick up the rubbish with, like the arm extenders? The bloke's going to have to play with 2 of those from now on. But we're lucky,
but it was a great chip.
Yeah, we're lucky because the game he had against Manchester United, bro, he could not get a shot past him, mate. Just unbelievable. Pickford of old. And then I don't know what it was. Was it Ramsdale on the other side of the goal scaring him for his next number 1 spot? But the guy
probably.
It did not look like the Pickford that we know and adore. But look, man, fantastic first half. And then Right before half time, Sammy Boy, very, very dangerous cross coming in from the right-hand side. And we saw Ramsdale he was eager. He didn't do anything for that first half, man. So he came and collected that, played it out to Tino, and then bang, just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful counter-attack. And Anthony Alenga, the guy has been absolutely rinsed, criticised, broken down this season. And easily his best game of the season for me, Sammy Boy. His physicality, his press, to beat that man and get that cross in, Sammy Boy, absolutely, absolutely fantastic by Alenga, and just really, really pleased to see it, man.
Yeah, of course, yeah, like that, and hopefully it starts to give him a bit of confidence. Like whenever somebody's down, you don't really want to build them and bash them even more just to bring them even more down. It's not the way things work. We need to support them. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't mind his start for us either. I mean, I don't expect him to come out fully off the blocks and just bang, start scoring goals. Like Voldemare did it, which was amazing for us. I didn't think he would do it. I thought Elenga would. It was just vice versa, unfortunately for us. But still, in saying that, well, fortunately as well, because we need our strikers to bloody score as well. But in saying that, Elenga, once he gets going, he'll cement his spot in that starting 11. And once he does, we'll be a whole different side with him in it. Yeah, because he just brings so much flair, in that attack. That imagine having Gordon on one side and him on the other, both firing. Well, the Mario have a field day.
Yeah, 100%. And much as I love Big Nick Waltemate, the bloke runs like a Volkswagen 1947 car, bro. The guy just does not have any legs. A little beetle. He's a big beetle, Big Nick Waltemate, but the guy is knackered when he tries to run. So, I feel like Anthony Alenga just compliments him so much, bro. Like the way that he was pressing, he was like pressing for two people. The guy is an absolute workhorse. And just his physicality to get that cross in for Big Nick Altomato, man. Like that third goal for me was my favorite out of all of the goals. Just fantastic. Quick by Ramsdale.
It was the second one.
What was your favorite?
My second one. It was the second goal. You know why? Because that second one gave us the biggest relief of all.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because once we got that second goal in, you knew it was going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And then we just
kicked on. It's good to see Miley as well, man. Miley finally starting to get a bit of praise for his work. Me and you have been screaming out for Miley more this season. We've been screaming out for it, man. So to see him get the goal, get an assist, absolutely fantastic by him as well. And look, man, like the amount of confidence this is going to give Anthony Alenga, Ramsdale, like a few of our fringe players who we probably think deserve to be starting. Just such a massive boost all around for some of those players. Sammy Boy, you probably imagine it now that it's going to be pretty hard for Nick Pope to find his way back into goal, or do you still think Eddie
look, knowing Eddie, he'll probably throw him in. He'll probably throw him in on Wednesday. So no, but he probably would, like for all we know. But I don't think he should. I mean, the way we were passing back to Ramsdale and using him as that fifth player in the back four was outstanding. I mean, he made it look so easy, didn't he? And he just, whenever he just needed to distribute it to one of the centre backs or to the right back or left back also, I mean, he did it with such like professionalism. I mean, you need that in your team. We need that to move forward as a team. Because with Pope being there, like I said, as much as I love him as a shot stopper, I mean, we can't do that with Pope.
Yeah, he's just such a balanced all-round keeper, Ramsdale, man. And
he is, yeah.
Look, we're at that part of the season for loan players around Christmas time. These loan players, they need to know that they're going to be a permanent first-team fixture, especially for a goalkeeper in the position that Ramsdale is in, playing for Arsenal, regularly picked for England back in his time at Arsenal. So when he came to Newcastle, he was obviously under the impression that this was going to be the club where he can find his best form, return to being the goalkeeper that he was at Arsenal. So if we had any chance of retaining Ramsdale's signature long-term, man, I think now is the time where he has to start playing regular minutes. As unfortunate as that is for Pope, Pope is getting a lot older now, man. And for the future of the club, I think it's best that we do invest into Ramsdale. And games like this, it just gives us every reason to keep playing him, man. So absolutely 100%. Massive for Ramsdale as well. Absolutely massive.
I thought, like, as well with his keeping, he did a great job. I mean, look, the one with Barry, there's not much he could do because obviously the way he literally miskicked the ball. Like Ramsey was thinking once he kicks it, it's going to go that way, but then he just miskicks it and he goes the other way. But it was a great finish by Drisby Hall. It was that touch before he shot it was outstanding. I mean, it was a great finish.
How did he beat? That's a crazy goal, bro. How did he beat Tino,
he went in
Dan
between,
Burn, and Malik Tiao?
He went in between Tino and Malik Chow. Yeah, he went in between them both.
Sandwiched them straight through them, bro.
Literally,
that was a quality finish, eh? Quality finish.
Quality finish, quality touch. He's a very good player, actually.
That Barry guy, bro. after you scored that handball goal, that guy was going on like he just scored the winning goal in the champion. I felt so bad.
He hasn't had a shot
bro.
on target. He hasn't had a shot on target all season.
Poor bloke, bro. Actually, I felt bad for him, mate. I felt so bad for him. Barry after that handball got disallowed.
Mate, I was so happy it was a handball.
That guy could have been getting beat 9-1 and he still would have been jumping up and down for that goal. So very
he couldn't believe his eyes that the ball went in the back of the net.
Bro, Everton, as good as we were, Everton were an absolute shit. Bro, they can't go a game, Everton, without the whole team punching on. It's like the Real Housewives of Liverpool. Everton, bro, every player just wants to kill the next player. The defenders, bro, every time we had a shot or an attack, the defenders were just punching on with each other, cussing each other out. Just every time with the camera passed to David Moyes, he just looked.
What's going on here?
It's like, bro, the guy just looked so lost. Like after that Manchester United game, I said it to you, Sammy, in the build-up. Like I thought Everton, they were going to be galvanized, they were going to be strong, they were going to be resilient. But look, man, they just crumbled at the first sight of pressure. Like they just crumbled, Sammy boy. They just look so disjointed, to be honest.
Well, look, it was good for us. We needed the win, so we take it.
Yeah, it was definitely good for us, but...
Mate, we broke a lot of hoodoos that day. Mate, even Malik Chow, yeah, he scored 2 headers. He was the first player in, I think, 10 years for Newcastle to score 2 headers in a game.
Yeah, as soon as Big Nick Waltamato gave him the head-in accuracy, bro, he was all over it.
Yeah, he was.
Hat-trick next game.
Hey, and long may it rain, mate. Hopefully he can be one of our deadly set-piece headers. Malik Chow!
Yeah, but I think those Everton boys are going to have to go on like a little retreat, a little team retreat, start getting some chemistry together because you guys need to stop punching on, eh? You just need to stop it. Another thing on that, Semi boy, did you see Keane and Idrissa Gueye with the boxing gloves on in training?
No, I didn't. Who won?
David. I can imagine who won, bro. But
yeah, me too.
I think maybe all of the players participated in that thing. They're all boxing, and they must have all got a bit of CTE, a bit of brain damage going into this game because they did not look like the same side against Manchester United. But that covers the first half, guys. Before we get into the second half, I know we've got a lot of people just joining, so. We do have Eddie Howe's presser coming. I think it should be around 9 o'clock. So Win and Gary or Win and Chris will be joining us for that, guys. So stick around for the presser. And anyone who has a question or wants to ask anything to me and Sam, just put that into the comments, guys, and just put a little Q in front of your question. And me and Semi will make sure we get to all of those. But before we dive into the second half, guys, let's get into the comments. Let's see what all of you lovely people are saying. So first in best dress, Darren Lee, as always. Morning, Corey and Sam, or should I say evening. Darren then follows up.
G'day, Darren.
Liverpool have now joined the race with ourselves to side Eduardo Camavinga at 52 million. Sammy boy, you were saying Camavinga however long ago, looking like that could come to fruition.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, mate, he'd be a great addition with Tonali and Bruno. Mate, that'd be some midfield if we'd get Camavinga in. But look, man, if Liverpool in the race, I mean, I think we've been there before. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's going to be a bit of bit of
Bit of a
rough
long stretch. Look,
competition.
that's the thing, man. Whenever you got big clubs like Liverpool, man, I mean, it's very tough for us to sign players that obviously they'll keep choosing them over us for the time being. Until we become more consistent in the Champions League, then I think the tides will change a bit. But I think it's just a bit of a far stretch for us. But mate, if we can get him over the line, absolutely outstanding business.
Yeah, like Sam said, Darren, I think it's always going to be a tough ask when you're competing with Liverpool. But at the moment, man, Liverpool don't look like the side they were either. So Champions League football, that's not a given for them either, guys. So look, it's competition, but I think signings like that, we're not going to know how that's going to turn out until a little bit later on in the season. But we've also got Michael here saying, evening, Corey and Sam, good to see you. It's good to see you as
G'day,
always,
mate.
Michael. Then we had D. Lee saying, Ramsdale had nothing to do for the first 40 minutes. I don't understand why the club released a phony statement to say Pope injured over making it look like he was dropped. Yeah, well, going into that game, there was obviously reports that Pope picked up a bit of an injury in training. Look, I don't think that's necessarily incorrect. I don't think we
like
really
me.
need an excuse to drop a player. I think if it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. I don't think we're going to come out with a story and saying one of our players is injured if it's not the case. It's just going to look worse than us, to be honest.
I agree. I mean, like, what's the point of doing that? So,
yeah, pretty knackered, man. If that's the other thing, if you're Nick Pope and you're not injured, and then the club's going to release a statement saying you're injured to try and make it look better for you, then I don't imagine Nick Pope would like that either, man. So I don't imagine that is the case, Darren, but football is crazy, crazy, mate. So it could be, but...
mate, it's all about the drama in the football.
100%, mate. The Real Housewives of the Premier League lately.
Oh, they really have been, haven't they?
And then we've got Chris Richardson saying it was Miley with the corner. So Miley with the assist and the goal.
All right.
Big up yourself, Miley. Big up yourself. Then we got Turpy Marchinio. I don't think I've seen you before, Turpy, on the breakfast show, mate. So a very, very warm welcome to yourself.
How you going there, bud?
He says, what time is it in Australia, lads? It is currently 8 p.m. at night, guys. So nice and late over in this part of the woods, but we've still got the sun out. So it's a nice Australian summer at 8 p.m., guys.
It's nice summer. Is it cold where you are at the moment?
Oh, it's freezing, bro. Storming, rains, winds.
Oh, was it raining down there, was it?
Oh, bro, it's bad. It's like the Titanic here, eh? If I get one more gust of wind at my window, bro, the thing is going to absolutely smash down. It's like I'm in Newcastle at the moment.
So I'm in Sydney, but Corey's about 2 hours down south. Mate, it's absolutely freezing here. You know why it snowed up at Perisher, eh?
In Perisher, we got the snow?
We got the snow in Perisher, mate. I mean, like, it's summer, but it snows over here. I mean...
Oh, it's bipolar. The only thing more inconsistent than our form this season, guys, is the Australian weather at the moment. It is knackered, guys.
Australian weather?
Knackered.
I don't think there's anywhere in the world that's like the Australian weather. I mean, you have 4 seasons in one day, but then you have 4 seasons in the same day again.
Unpredictability, mate. Unpredictability. But we've got another one here from Turpy Marchinio saying 100% can't wait for Ilenga to come into some form. He was great on Saturday. And he also follows that up with Miley, Bruno, and Tonali in midfield. The technicality is going to be next level. Look, man, I think 100% going forward, that midfield 3 is the one for the future. As much as I love J7, as much as I love what J7 brings to this club, just an absolute batter and ram. I think Tonali is the future on that left side of midfield, for me at least. I think he's going to complement the other 2 lads so well. And there's not really a thing Miley can't do. Like, he's so good at going forward. I think he's fantastic at retaining possession. Yeah. And the bloke can put in a tackle as well, man. So yeah, I just don't see where Joe Linton has him covered, to be honest, besides physicality.
There's only literally, that's it, his physicality and his aggression. I mean, they're about the only 2 things that he covers over Miley. But if you want a cool, calm, collected footballer that's going to take you forward, defend for you, and actually is a better player, I mean, you'd rather go for Miley, I guess. I mean, Miley has got such a massive future, and I mean, honestly, he could be amazing. He could be in that central midfield with England well, like in the future sometime. That's how good he can be.
Yeah, and to be honest, if physicality is the only thing that J7 has on Miley, for me at least, like let's not forget Miley's 6 foot plus at 19 years old. The guy is going to fill into his frame.
Easily.
I think he's going to be just as a physical presence as J7. So I think we just got to be patient with him. But if we're already seeing this output and these sort of performances from him at 19, then the bloody world is his oyster. And
literally,
I just think we have a generational player on our hands. And let's not make the same mistakes we made from Anderson and other players. Let's get him bedded in. Let's start playing him. And as much as I love J7, I think he's probably better suited to a utility position, maybe off the bench and in some of these lower level games, Semi-boy.
If you had one person, I mean, if you had to sell either Anderson or Miley, who would you sell?
What do you mean by that's such a rough question?
Why is that a rough question?
Because they're at two completely different stages when we had those players. Anderson,
No,
we only sold Anderson because of the club financial reasons. Like we had to sell him.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you needed to sell one of them, and they were still both at the club, who would you sell?
That's just dumb. I don't know, bro. Like that's a crazy question for me. I honestly don't know. I just think, obviously, because of the price tag that Anderson is getting touted with at the moment, you'd probably say Anderson. But then again, man, like if you're looking at the price tag Miley can conjure up in a year or two's time, then I'd probably say I'd rather keep Miley, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd rather keep Miley?
Yeah, the only reason I'd say I'd rather keep Anderson is purely because of the price tag that some of these clubs are talking about for him at the moment. But if we're saying that, then on the other hand, then imagine what Miley's going to be asking in a few seasons if he can keep up, this form and this trajectory.
Well, he's only going to get better.
That's what I mean, man. So yeah. I think the answer definitely has to be Miley.
Yeah, Miley is the man.
I don't think everyone would agree with that, to be honest.
What do you mean not everyone? What, they'd rather keep Anderson over Miley?
Oh, there's always going to be some people, bro. Always going to be
Don't worry about what. There's some people that don't know football.
Yeah, you included, mate. You've been on a bloody bipolar week this week, Semi-boy. You've been on a burner this week, mate.
My mates are calling me flip-flops.
You are a bunch of flip-flops. If I could get some of these quotes by Semi on that after that Marseille game, it's like a different person.
What are you talking about? Just go back. Just go put it on, bro.
To go through that negativity.
What do you mean negativity? Hey, I'm still Howe out, mind you.
LRA is still Howe out. No, you're not, bro.
Yes.
No, you're not, though. Why ruin the show like this on a Monday morning? We're happy.
What do you mean?
We're having a good time. And you want to bring
one
us
win
down
doesn't
again.
change everything. I told you, after that Marseille game, he really tipped me off. I wanted him out. I told you, the only way he can convince me that I want him to stay, is that if we go on like a 9-game winning streak. That's it.
So, let me get this 100% straight before we can even move on.
Yes, I still want Howe out.
Get off the show, man. I don't need you here. This is a strict Eddie in mentality. We're on the up. We're positive only now, Semi-boy. I don't need none of that negativity, bro. I feel like you're only saying that because you pinned yourself into such a corner after that Marseille game that you're going to be stubborn and that's all you're going to say from now on.
No.
You can't genuinely tell me in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, in your body that you would want Eddie out right now.
Yes.
Oh, knackered, bro. Knackered. I don't even have a sound effect.
Why? What do you mean, why? Because you just beat Everton away. We should be beating Everton away.
100%. But patience, man. Patience.
Patience on what?
It's very early, Semi-boy. We don't need to be talking like that already. We do not need to be talking. We do not, guys. Let us know in the comments.
Before the Marseille game, was I Eddie Howe in or Eddie Howe out?
You were Eddie Howe in.
That's it. And I was in there before all that. Just remember, I was in before all that. But once he did what he did against Marseille and we lost that game, that was it for me.
Bloody, I'm disgusted in you, Semi-boy. I'm bloody disgusted.
Man, I'm disgusted in you.
I'm more disgusted in you. I don't even have a sound
Go get a
haircut. Wait, it's looking shocking, eh? It's looking grim.
Shocking.
I'm looking like Anthony Gordon's uglier cousin. It's
Mate,
bloody
you got-
rough. It's rough.
Mate, if you cut it, somebody can use it as a wig, bro.
Oh, bro, I look like it literally looks like the Lorax is falling asleep on my head. The bloke's just having a nap, guys. It's not looking good, but anyway, let's get over Sam's absolute howler of a comment. That one, howler.
A how of a comment.
Howler. You're saying such stupidity that I can't even comprehend. But speaking on my absolutely rough Barnet, slapping a bird says, "Sell us your fringe, Corey." Right, this is going to cost a lot of money slapping her. This could keep a family warm, mate. The amount of quantity on top of my this could keep a family warm, mate. But
he's had homeless people come up. Can you have a haircut so I can use it as a blanket?
Oh, shocking. Then we've got Darren Lee saying James Tarkowski was at fault for tiny arms making mistakes, getting in his way. Darren, you're 100%
I think his
right,
ears
mate.
got in his way.
Yeah, mate, the Everton players were too busy punching on with each other, arguing, whinging.
He was trying to hold them back with his ears.
Oh, poor Pickford, mate. You don't deserve that. You definitely
What do you mean he don't deserve
that.
it? It's SMB, mate. He deserves everything he gets.
Then we've got Mick Bingley saying, "Good evening, guys. Good show as always. Big up yourself, Mick, mate. Much appreciated. Big up yourself, Mick. Big up yourself." We've got a lot of comments here, guys. I'll try and quickly pump through them before we get into this second half. Guys, if you're just joining us, we do have the Eddie Howe presser coming in sometime soon, probably within the next half an hour or so. So just hang tight for that, guys. We will be joined by Win and Chris, I imagine, for that presser. So that is not too far off, guys. But we will get into a few more of these comments and we'll recap the second half. So we've got Lynn here saying, "Good day, Corey and Sam. What a game and result. No Pope, thumbs up. Guess I'm not quite on the dark side yet." Lynn's still on the fence. So, Sammy, you could have a joiner of the Eddie Howe Art Brigade soon, mate. But she hasn't.
Well, it depends,
joined you just
mate.
yet.
Look, you know what? Look, look. I don't really want him out.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. I know deep down in your soul you don't.
No, I don't.
You're just being a stubborn. You're just being stubborn.
But if he's gonna keep changing the fullbacks and changing people and playing him in wrong positions, I want him out because it's not doing us any good.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with you. I mean, I think that's why this January transfer window, man, like
Massive.
we have to do business. We have to do business. And for me, that business, it has to be more than, I genuinely believe we need more than just the one player in January. The difference that having our two fullbacks makes is night and day difference, guys. Like we look like a completely different 11. So in January, if we can get two young fullbacks, young promising fullbacks with pace, physicality, obviously they're not going to be on the same level as Tino and Howe, but just younger players who can do that role just physically. I think having backup in both of those positions is absolutely vital.
100%.
For me, I think it's more important than bringing in another striker. I think it's more important than bringing in a number 10. So, like Sammy said, I think it's just night and day difference when we have our fullbacks in. So January, for the love of God, let's get some new reinforcements in there because I do not want to see another game as Dan Burn as left back for as long as I live.
I don't think I ever want to see it.
How much better is he at centre back, man?
I might go to the gap if I see it again.
Yeah. How good was he, Sammy, at centre back? The bloke has just had such a unfair burden put on him this. I know he's done it past seasons, guys, but look, age catches up to everyone. Even last year, he had a bit more pace than he has this. It's just evolution. It's just how game works. So,
man, honestly, it really does. Age does catch up to you, mate. I've hit my 30s, mate. This is past my bedtime.
Yeah, I'm 24, guys, and the absolute damage that I've done to my body. If I wore one of those Whoop watches, my live age would come up as a 75-year-old factory worker. So, guys, it catches up to you, guys. So, Look, it's been very unlucky for Dan Burn this season. It's been very unlucky for him having to play the position that he's been made to play.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, look, Howe being out and us not having a left back doesn't really help. I mean, there's not much you could do there, you know. And then once Tino got injured, I mean, we had to result in and putting Dan Burn there. But what annoys me is that whenever you have Lewis Hall on the team and on the bench, and you're still starting Burn there, that's what annoys me. I'm like, look, mate, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, then he's fit enough to play.
Yeah, look, with that, I feel like literally the only save and grace you can give Eddie is he probably saw how knackered we were at the start of this season without the both of them. And when Hall was finally starting to get back into the swing of things, I just think he was that petrified to risk him again, man. Like, we did only really see him not play those 2 or 3 games when he came back for injuries. We saw him play a full 90 minutes for the under-21s, and then straight as that happened, he seemed to get back into the fold. So
yeah,
I think Eddie,
look, this is
smart.
such a big month for us. Yeah, I mean, like there's some big games coming up. There's some good games that are winnable as well for us, even next month. But these 2 months are so crucial for us. It's not even funny. Like these are season-defining games right now. Like there's not many that we can drop.
No, I don't think we can afford anything, go.
Look, even though we're just 6 points out of the 4, that's not much. But then you've got another 10 teams going for it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So,
hold up, I had to swap us around. I was getting a lot of messages. People weren't liking the the screen. So we're back on our right sides, guys. I'm on the left. Semi's on the right, guys. You can stop howling me in the comments.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think people like the change, mate. Too much change for him on a Monday morning, Semi boy. Too much change. I think it's because a lot of people
guys have your coffee.
They have stronger eyesight in the left eye, Semi. So obviously their good eye, they will see in your rough face. And on their weaker right eye, they will see in my... So they probably wanted to focus on the more handsome guy on the left. So that's why I've just had to fix things up, guys. So I do apologise for that.
Just so you guys know, he was never a ginger all the time. He was a brunette. Something happened along the way, and I met him, and he started turning orange.
A bunch of kids at the skate park went and got their Fanta bottles poured it over the top of my head, and that was a downfall of my brunette hair, guys. I turned into a dirty, dirty ginger. But we will keep pumping through your comments, guys, before we get into this second half. And we do have some various news stories. So let's keep pumping through your comments, guys. If you're just joining us, probably within the next half an hour or so, we should be having the Eddie Howe presser. So stick with us. Win and Chris, or Win and Gary, should be joining us soon, guys. So that is not too far away. But we've got a question here from Gavin Fuller. Do you not think he said Pope was injured? So if Ramsdale has a couple of bad games, he can bring him straight back in. Like we said a little bit earlier, Gavin, I truly don't believe that Eddie or the club would have made a fake injury story around Nick Pope.
Yeah, it's just childish.
Just a cushion, yeah, man. It's childish. Like the manager, I have enough faith in Eddie that he's going to come out and he's going to say what is the case. I don't think he's going to make up fake news stories.
You know what else?
I don't think Pope would like that.
We were talking about it the other day, yeah, me and the boys, and we were just like, well, they were like, actually, like if you're going to go and sign a goalkeeper, I mean, it's very rarely you go out there and you sign a goalkeeper just to sit him on the bench, right? Especially of Ramsdale's caliber. But I think Nick Pope's start to the season is what sort of gave him a bit of the edge. But it was probably most likely going to be 2, 3, 4 games until Ramsdale came in. But then with the start that he sort of had, not leaking any goals and that, I think that's why he just kept him for that long. But now that he's doing his mistakes and doing that sort of stuff, and now we've seen what Ramsdale can do to our side, moving forward, I mean, you can't replace him. You can't. You got to keep him in there.
Bro, you're 100% right. Like we went into this season, I think every preview that we've done for the upcoming games, we said at the time that Nick Pope, it'd be so unfair to drop Nick Pope just in the form that he was in. He saved us so many times at the start of this season.
Yeah.
His form was literally you couldn't drop the guy. He was absolutely saving us day in, day out, every single game. So even from my point of view, I was absolutely stoked when I saw Ramsdale coming in. I thought that was easily going to be our long-term number one. And for the first 3 months of the season, you could not justify dropping Pope. We're finally probably coming to that part now where, unfortunately
It's
for
time.
Nick Pope, we're starting to see a few more of these massive errors that he just didn't have in him at the start of the season. From corners as well, crosses, man, I really started not to trust Pope. I thought he was so weak from corners, crosses, his little weak wrist, man, just no power on any of these balls. We saw it against West Ham. We're getting ourselves into countless bad situations. So, unfortunately for Pope, I think him being dropped is probably justified at the current time. Even with that England call-up, even with the recent England call-up, he's still, as harsh as it is for him and his age, I think for the future of the club, man, Ramsdale is just such a more balanced keeper all around. Like just
he is.
distribution.
Look, he's probably just not as good as a shot stopper, but he's good enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But everything else, I mean, he tops him.
100%. Even just how direct he was with corners.
That's
and crosses,
my point,
man,
though. That's
Everton,
what I'm saying.
And like
imagine doing that in big games. Like it makes it so much smoother for us to get out from the back than what it is. But as soon as Pope used to get the ball, they used to press him.
100%.
And he'd kick the ball out, and he'll kick it for a corner, or like you know what I mean. He'd buckle or do something. But with Ramsdale, he's got a bit of footwork. He can pass it. He's got good vision. Like he can pick a pass. You need that, Brent.
Yeah, like the only thing I was worried about was dropping Pope is like, as well as his shot stopping, that guy can throw, man. Like he can create a counter attack. He can create an opportunity from his throwing like that. He's got incredible throwing. But we saw with Ramsdale how quick and smart he was. Like that pass out to Tino, that throw out to Tino for that third goal. What was it, the fourth goal? The third goal, sorry. That pass out to Tino was rapid, man. He faked everyone out to the left. Like, so we're not missing anything with Pope not being there because Ramsdale can easily do that as well. So very big by Ramsdale. Sorry, Gavin, I know we went on a bit of a rant with your question there, mate.
What is it?
We've got one from Kim Cam saying, I don't mean to be negative, but why do I not see anything? Why do not see anything in Miley? Can someone tell me what it is? Kim Cam,
that's a shocker.
What can't you see in Miley, Kim Cam? I think I just don't know what
Bloke's
I don't
an
see in Miley.
Beast.
I think
I think. Look, what you're not seeing is that flashiness. He's not that sort of player. He's a player that stabilizes the side, and there's not many players that actually do that. And he gets you forward. He does the gritty stuff. He puts you on the front foot. He gives you his all, but he does it with quality.
I don't want my number 8 to be flashy. I don't want my number 8 to be doing that sort of stuff.
I don't need him. I don't need him to do skills and tricks. I don't need that. What we want him to do is pick a good pass to either side of the wingers. Let them do that.
I feel like he's composed on the ball as well, Kim.
He's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Defensively, I think he's absolutely fantastic. I don't think he holds the ball for too long. I think he covers for Howe just as well as Joe Linton does. Maybe not as well as Joe Linton does, but I still think I don't think he's more of a defensive liability compared to Joe Linton. And Kim Cam is 19 years old. Like guy, he's got a big ceiling.
And he's the one that set up our first goal from the corner. Like, there you go.
Assist.
I mean, he's got quality.
Goal.
He's got a lot of quality. He even makes Pickford look like a very, very bad goalkeeper.
Yeah. Well, Kim Cam, just on that, just let me know what you don't find too comfortable about Miley, what it is that you're seeing that isn't giving you the faith that it maybe is given a few of us other supporters. I'm not trying to dig you out, Kim Cam. I love you always a big supporter of the Breakfast Show. So I just want to know what you're not seeing in Miley, and then maybe that will bring something to our attention. But Kim Cam for me is a pretty complete player. So just let us know what you're thinking with that one.
But I don't think anything would bring anyone more attention than your haircuts.
Bro, it's looking too orange tonight, eh? It's looking too orange.
No. I just feel like the fringe. I don't know what's going on there, man. Just go get a haircut. Oh my God. Corey, you're blinding me.
Oh, yeah, now I look like Voldemort. Oh, it's a shocker here, guys. It's a bloody shocker. Oh, I'm embarrassed, guys. If we got any barbers in Newcastle or after a summer trip to Sydney, guys, come down
Summer
here, bring your
that snows in the mountains and it's like 12 degrees here at the moment. I don't know what summer's at, but that's our summer.
Someone fix this barn. It is rough as guts. But let's keep pumping through these. So Paul Sheriff, I think it is. Very warm welcome to you, Paul. I don't think I've seen you here on the breakfast show.
Yeah,
mate.
no, I don't think so. How you going, bud?
Good day, lads. From a Geordie living on the Goldie, enjoying your pod. Oh yeah, we've got a Geordie in Australia, mate. You're a rare breed.
Go guys, eh? You're right going there, mate. I was up there earlier in the year.
Yeah, big up yourself, Paul. I don't think I've seen any Geordies in Oz, mate. So let us know.
No, there's a few, mate.
You reckon?
Yeah, there's a few. There's more than a few.
We just got all Irish up in Sydney, eh? We don't have too many other.
No, there's heaps.
Either. Not that I've met. So, Paul, mate, if you're ever up in Sydney, come hit up me and Sam. We'll go out for a pint, mate. We'll shout.
Yeah.
But good.
We'll go get ourselves a nice Newcastle brown ale somewhere.
Then we've got to coin a phrase saying, "Flip flop, shouldn't you be called thongs?"
Look, we do call them thongs.
Yeah, Sammy wears both sorts of thongs. He's got the one on his feet and the one between his legs. Sammy. Extracurricular.
Don't tell him that, Corey.
That's good. But let's keep pumping through these because I am very, very far behind. What do we have here?
Look, how about we talk about the second half for a bit?
Yeah, we probably should get in that. Before we do, 12 months of membership. Yeah, we've got 12 months of membership for Mercury Dime. So big up yourself, Mercury. 12 months of membership. Big up yourself, guys. But
thanks, Mercury.
We will get into this second half, guys. I know I've missed probably about 100 comments, so I do apologize. But we will have that presser coming up soon, guys. So let's quickly recap the second half. So a strong start from Everton, Sammy Boy, in that second half. Ramsdale's first save of the game. And then Alcaraz hitting the post about 2 or 3 minutes after that.
Hit the post? I'm surprised they didn't snap it.
Bro, that was a crazy shot from Alcaraz, eh?
Yeah, that's not even a shot. I don't know what the hell that was.
That was like a heat-seeking missile from that bloke. It was absolutely unreal.
What a hit.
Like, bro, shattered the bar. Honestly. If I took a shot with that much power, I'd snap my ACL, my kneecap would be flying.
With ease. Bro, I reckon it would have hurt his foot. That's how hard he hit it.
But look, Sammy, that just proves to show how dominant we were in that game. Like for Ramsdale to have his first save of the season just before the second half, and pretty dominant from us in that game.
Yeah, and then we ended up scoring that fourth goal right before like the hour mark. I actually thought we'd get a couple more, try to go for a couple more, and I felt like we just sort of let it just sort of be. We're a bit composed, like we didn't want to go for more goals, but we just didn't want to get injured. I think so at the same time.
Yeah,
they didn't want to waste too much energy, and they sort of did try to creep back into the game. Sorry,
you got it in the end.
Yeah. But you have like Barry, very unlucky not to score that goal. I mean, it sort of slightly touched his hand, but then obviously Dewsbury Hall, man, absolutely fantastic touch and finish. I mean, no keeper was stopping that one, to be honest. But then after that goal, I think we woke up to ourselves and we just started to control the game a bit more.
Well, bro, we were very unlucky in that second half not to have way more goals than what we ended up having. Like that ball by Hall into Barnes, like that could have been another goal there. I feel like Barnes probably rushed that a little bit too quick instead of waiting for another player to come in and forcing that shot. Like right there, man, that should have been another goal easily.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes our decision-making is what lets us down. But look, I don't mind that if you're 4-0 up.
Yeah, so do I. Just be tenacious. Just keep being aggressive. Like Sammy said, I don't mind if you're doing shots like that, man. So
especially if you're 4-0 up.
Yeah, 100%. Just be on the front foot, be aggressive. And then Nick Walter-Mate, pretty unlucky not to get that goal right before Malik Tial's second header. I thought that was well and good, man. A goal for him. So very unlucky by Nick Walter-Mate not to get that. But big Malik Tial saving the day, making it 2, man. Another bullet header. Cannot complain at all. I was absolutely stoked for him, after that second goal.
Yeah, of course. You know what? Goals just do. This is like a massive confidence boost to anyone. That's what I think. Right, mate. Anyone that scores a goal, it's a massive boost of confidence, isn't it? It just gives you that sort of adrenaline rush, but not just for that one game, but just games in general. You know, and then they just kick on from there. So that's why I'm sort of hoping Elanga gets that goal. And then you get Gordon getting them, and then hopefully they all just go on that sort of run.
100%. But Semi, I've got some breaking. Can I just stop
breaking
the show? The man, the myth, the legend,
hello,
the
lads.
American Mag has joined the stream.
Chris.
How's it going, lads?
How are we, Chrissy boy, mate? Always good to see you.
Oh, man, waking up at crazy hours in the morning here, but...
Mate, what are you doing? Go back to sleep.
You think I can do that? But no, man.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this festive touch, Chris. I'm very happy to come into the stream.
It's Christmas time again, man. You know we got to be here. You know,
man. Hey, Corey, did Chris end up putting back on the circus music or not?
I still haven't got the clown music, so we're gonna have a company review over my clown song, Chris, because I'm not too impressed with that. Go on, mate.
Oh, mate, and hey, not just that. Now we've got somebody that owns a zoo. Hello, how you going there, Gary?
We got more.
Good day, guys. How we doing? You all right, mate?
Not too bad, mate.
Good day, Gaz. Good to see you,
zookeeper.
Mate. The zookeeper, absolutely. It's, like I said, you have to pay to get into this house. I'm telling you now.
Guys, Gary is the reincarnate of Aquaman. The guy has more fish in the sea than Aquaman does.
He's made new species as well.
Yeah, they're just called kids.
I hope you don't have them in the fishing tanks, mate. I hope they're in the fishing tanks.
Mate, I'll tell you something now. I've had a couple in a fishing tank before. But without the water, I must emphasise there was no water in it at the time. In actual fact, my missus got into one of my fish tanks. This is in my bedroom because it's that big. She actually, I said to her, "Would you mind just cleaning that out? Because I've got to start, getting some across." And she was like, "Yeah, no problem. Come upstairs." And she's inside the fish tank, and I'm like, "What the heck? I've never seen that before."
Well, mate, if you
that was a new species, I'm telling you now.
If you got enough room for an angry Australian, man, I can ship over Sam, mate. If you want a new addition.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you something now. Listen, I wouldn't have Sam in his fish tank. That'd be wrong. What I would do is have Sam stuffed in the corner, just so the kids can pet him every morning. It'd be fantastic. I hope everybody's well. I hope you've had a lovely Thanksgiving, Chris. A bit confused. Oh, yeah, yeah, cool. A bit confused this morning because I'm sat in the background listening to the boys and I'm thinking, I don't want to disturb them because I don't know whether they're doing the presser, we're doing the presser. No, we're all getting there.
Yeah,
we got Eddie Howe now, ladies and gents. So yeah, here we go. Eddie Howe is in the house.
Morning, mate. Morning, everyone. Welcome back so soon. Same order as usual. Start with Razor, please.
Thanks. Hi, Eddie. Good morning. Did you come back from Everton okay? No fresh injuries from the other night?
No fresh injuries, I believe. We have a good look at the lads today. Positive physical performance, I thought. Wasn't the biggest game in terms of load, so yeah, lads are okay.
What's the latest with Sven Botman, who you mentioned last week was managing a back problem?
Yeah, with Sven, he's going to see a specialist in the next couple of days just to get a sort of definitive opinion whether he needs an injection or whether he's able to rest for a few days and then resume training. So we'll wait and see.
And how is Johan Wissa getting on as he continues to build up his fitness?
Yep, he does. He participated in an 11v11 sort of training game while we were at Everton. I think he'll have another one at some stage this week. And yeah, we'll see how close he is.
Looking at the match against Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow night, you've already played them once at St James's Park in the League Cup. I think they had quite a few players unavailable that night, many of whom are back. How different are you expecting this game to be to what you faced, I think, 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, that was a tough game, and this one will be no different. As you say, might see a sort of a change in personnel because they've got a few players back from that game, but they've got a strong squad. They've got depth in the squad, so I think they've got some very good players. Obviously, a very good manager as well. So, yeah, it would be a great game, I think.
Looking at the way the table's changed in the last week or so, it's clear, isn't it, the importance of putting a run and a sequence of results together, which is probably something you hadn't been able to do so far. How important is it that that continues as you go on through this busy period?
Yeah, we always felt, even during some difficult runs, that the league's very tight this year, and a consistent run of victories can propel you very quickly up the league. We're in a better position than we were, and not necessarily in terms of league position, but in terms of points gap. And as you say, a couple of wins, and we're back to where we want to be. So really key time, because what you can't do is allow yourself to become detached. We know where we want to be. We've got work to do to get there. We really need a run of games where we get positive results. That's what we're looking for.
Just want to ask you finally about Nick Pope, because you mentioned at the weekend that it was an injury sustained in training that prevented him from being with you at Everton, and Aaron Ramsdale played instead. Have you got an update on his fitness, Nick Pope?
No further update from Saturday. Again, he's probably one of a number of players that we'll analyse early this week and then try and get a proper diagnosis.
Thank you. Keith?
Hi Eddie, it must have been nice for Aaron to come in. He's waited patiently for his chance to come in and be part of such a good win as well. I guess he was in a good mood afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't really see him actually, to be honest. Media duties, etc. But I'm sure he felt good returning back to Newcastle, as we all did after the game. There's that feeling that we haven't had very often away from home, where you've done a good job, you've completed your objective, and then you're focusing on the next game in a positive way. So he can be very pleased. It's a really good start for him. Yeah, I'm sure he's in a good place.
And I guess for you as manager, how much of a bonus is it sort of going down, winning a game as comfortably as you did, and at the same time managing to get rest into the legs of the likes of Anthony Gordon and Sandro Tonali, Jacob Murphy, and I suppose it gives you a decision to make ahead of this game tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. We've said all along this year, especially where we are now with the schedule that we've got, it's going to be very much a squad effort that gets us through this season. I think we've tried to manage the squad effectively in the last few games, where obviously it's a lot of information that we take in. So I get a lot of information from the sports science team, the medical team, and then we all try and come together and make the right decision for the individual players. But the big thing is focusing from West Ham and Brentford, that we enter the pitch and we're able to physically give our best. And that's probably where I stand right now, is in whatever team I pick, I want them physically to execute it, because I think if they can do that, then technically and tactically I think we'll be okay.
David Moyes said after the match, Newcastle are arguably the most physical side in the Premier League, and he said for much of that match, he said we just couldn't stop them on Saturday. I guess for you as Newcastle manager, that's music to your ears. That's the sort of thing you want to hear from your opponents, isn't it?
Well, it links to my previous answer, really. When we're very good in that respect, I think we're very difficult to play against. I think we've executed a couple of games this year where we haven't been that team, and then we're nowhere near as effective. So with the game schedule we have, fresh players on the pitch is one thing, but obviously then you have to execute the plan, and physically the players this year are going to have to dig deep because there's a lot of games. But that was a big step forward against Everton.
Just finally from me, Nick Voltham had a scorer again at the weekend, and what a finish it was. It could have been a simpler finish for him, but he kind of goes for the dramatic, doesn't he? I mean, his highlights reel already, and he's only been here for a couple of months, is pretty good, isn't it? He scored some incredible goals, and that was another one to the collection.
It was. I mean, that was one of my favourite goals of his so far. I think Yeah, I mean, and I think the finish was on, but very few players, I think, would have been able to execute it in the manner that he does. He has a way of making things look quite dramatic, and it was, I thought it was an outstanding finish. A really good play from Anthony Elanga in the build as well. Great to see him get his assist and show his pace and what he can deliver for us on transitions. But Nick did the rest, and he did it really well.
Thanks, Keith. Andy?
On Eddie. Were you able to celebrate your birthday at all on Saturday? Because it was a hectic sort of day. Did the players sing you a song or anything like that, or not?
Joe Linton actually tried to get a chant going, but then it fell away quite quickly. And no one else joined in. But I thank him for the effort. I got home, I think it was about 11 o'clock on Saturday night, and it was straight to bed, so no.
I'm surprised Bruno didn't join in with that, at the very, very least. We've talked Nick Voltemade, Malik Chow. We saw this clip of you kind of rubbing your eyes, I guess, in disbelief at the fact that Malik's obviously got 2 goals. They're both headers. How much more is he going to be working on that in training to try and bring that to a match day again?
It's an interesting one with Malik because he's ended up, I think, if you look back at a lot of our set plays, getting his head on quite a bit. So I think his movement, his aggression, his timing's really good. But he hadn't put the finishing touches to that in the way that he did on Saturday. Took 2 great headers, something we work a lot on. It was great to see that work coming good for us. The importance of set play goals we've discussed so many times when me sat here. It wins and loses you games. Great to see us on the right side of it. Hopefully that continues. And also a mention to Louis Miley and Lewis Hall for the 2 balls that they put in.
You mentioned a few names there. One was Anthony Elanga, obviously. You know, you'll be all coming back, dead happy, obviously, after a first away win of the season. But Anthony Elanga, in terms of what's been a kind of a stuttering start to his Newcastle career, he must be absolutely delighted to play a heavy contribution on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I mean, I think the first transition in the game, right from kickoff, is him almost running the length of the pitch onto a really good pass from Nick and almost scoring. And I think that set the tone for us in the game. So I think he can be very pleased with his contribution to the game and also how he's beginning to settle into the rhythm of life at Newcastle, because it is a big change for any player. I'm seeing a sort of a very level, steady performer. I think he continues to get better and better, but I think that was a big step forward.
I asked on Friday how important it was to back up the City win against Everton at the weekend. So how important now is it to back up your first away win back at home tomorrow night?
Yeah, that of course is the plan. I think it's vitally important that we find the consistency that we're searching for. It seems like we're sort of yo-yoing between Champions League and Premier League and not quite able to put our foot on the floor and find that sweet spot that we've been searching for all season. Hopefully this is the turning point for us. But every opponent we face in the Premier League is so difficult, and now we face Tottenham, who are a very good team. They've got their own strengths, and certainly a team that we're going to have to respect, as we always do, and try and put our plan in place to try and find a way to win.
Just finally, ahead of Spurs, do you feel like your Newcastle United are back with performances like Saturday?
I think the last 2 Premier League performances in particular have been us. I'm reluctant to say we're back. I think we'll prove whether we're back or not, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you. Nisha?
Morning, Eddie. Lewis Hall was one of your outstanding performers against Everton. Are you going to have to look at managing his load, kind of coming back from that injury, but at the same time he's proved how important he can be?
Well, we've tried to do that in his early steps of coming back. I think it was really important that we didn't thrust him into starting too many games consecutively at that point. But I think the time away with England was important to get him some robustness, as in some 11v11 action in a 2-week period. I looked after him well, and then he's come back, and I think you can see towards the end of games he is fatiguing, but hopefully that will improve as we go through. There also comes a time when we have to try and get him to play the minutes that we need him to play. I mean, he's such an important player. He brings us his unique qualities, and we want him on the pitch as often as possible. So let's see how he feels. We'll always make a judgment call, I think, on the various tests that we do in the build-up to games.
And Lewis Miley has been someone that's had to, I guess, be patient, with that midfield 3 that have been mostly very consistent in terms of playing this season. And does he keep impressing you with how he takes his chance when it's given to him?
Yeah, I think it's a really good group of centre midfielders. that we have at the football club for Louis to be around at such a young age, for him to play with these players on a regular basis, train with them as he has now for a number of years, has only helped his development. I think now he's their equal, he's there on merit. He's fighting for a starting place. He's certainly impressing me, I think, in terms of how he's training, how he's preparing himself for every opportunity that he gets. And it was a big moment for him on Saturday. It's the type of moment that, for every player's looking to grab it. And I thought he did that in his own unique way, in a sense that he does that in a relaxed demeanour. But he wanted the ball. He was very good with the ball. That was key for us. He played with real calmness and control and set a goal up and scored a goal. Couldn't have gone any better, really.
Thanks, Nisha. We've got to Martin, Dominic, and then Lee, please.
Morning, Eddie. We know you're not big on social media, but there was criticism of Nick Pope following his mistake in Marseille. And on Saturday, we saw the Tottenham keeper, Vicario, receive verbal abuse during the game for his mistake against Fulham. Is the criticism and the abuse players are receiving now reaching unacceptable levels, do you feel?
Yeah, it is difficult for me to comment because I purposely stay away from it, so I'm probably not the best one to give an answer to that in a sense of reacting to what's happened because I've not seen it. I'm sort of aware of it, of course. I'm aware of social media and the power and the effect it may well have on players. I think it's a difficult one. I think it comes with the territory now. It's almost as a public figure, you have to accept that you're there to, or open to be criticised. It's just part of modern society and culture. My advice is always try and shelter yourself from it and just become robust enough and psychologically strong enough to not need to read it or see it. But invariably people will show it to you even if you don't want to see it, and that's probably the issue a lot of the time. I'm sure the players have become accustomed to it and used to it, but it's still, if it crosses the line, I think then obviously the appropriate people need to be made aware of it.
The criticism Vicario faced felt unique in that it was from his own supporters actually during the match, though. I am assuming that's something you never want Newcastle fans to go down that route.
Yeah, I think I've said before that while the game's going on and the players are playing, the only thing I ask from the Newcastle supporters is that they encourage and support the players, because it's a very tough environment at the best of times, yet alone when you're getting criticised by your own. And I have to say that our supporters, I can't speak highly enough of. In my time here, they've been incredible in that respect. They have supported the players. They've always been with them. And that's all you can ask, really. I think we're as one. We're a team. Supporters, players, staff, everybody connected. We're all fighting for the same thing, and full respect to our supporters for how they've handled the players.
And sorry, last one. Is there a need for a reminder of just what Nick Pope has done for you and for this football club since he's been here?
Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of Nick. Since I've worked with him, I think he's been outstanding, not just as a goalkeeper, because you see the product, but as a person, the character that he is, he's a really humorous lad. He's really vibrant and brings good energy to the group. And the players see that and respect him immensely. You can see that by the fact that they voted him into the leadership group as a mark of the character that he is behind the scenes. So his goalkeeping is second to none. He's the best shot stopper I've ever worked with. And we need him back.
Thanks, Martin. Dominic?
Morning, Eddie. Just on that topic, the goalkeeper decision, such a big talking point. How did it feel that what was shaping up to be potentially the most scrutinised team selection decision of the season was taken out of your hands to a degree?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that when you're me. I'm just making a decision like I do every week. There's no... Yeah, of course, every decision's a big decision. And that's how I look at it. I don't look at it as any one decision is bigger than the other. So this dramatic showdown of decisions, that's not the reality. I was disappointed for Nick that he picked up the injury when he did, and disappointed for us because we need him.
And Willis Sula, is there any chance of him being involved tomorrow night, or any clearer return date for him?
No, he certainly won't be involved tomorrow night. We need to have further discussions internally to see quite what's happening with his ankle, because it's not going in a straight line. We're not quite happy with how he's feeling, so I'll try and give you some feedback when we get it.
Lee Ryder?
Eddie, with Wissa, has his comeback date changed since the one that you had in your mind on
I don't know, I've given so many different dates, I've got no idea. You tell me. There's been no change. He's working back. He's doing well. Everything's positive. But he will be back involved when we think he's able to contribute to the group and has a minimal chance of re-injury.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Isak finally get his first Liverpool goal yesterday. Are you sort of visualising Wissa getting his first for Newcastle? It'll be a great moment. I'm sure the roof will come off even more than it normally does at wherever that.
Yeah, well, I've got visions now of roofs coming off everywhere. Yeah, I mean, whenever he comes back, I'm sure from his perspective and, of course, from our perspective, that first goal will be important. But I don't want to put too much pressure on him. He's still a little bit away from that. He's got some more work to do. Hopefully he comes through that and then we can see him back on the pitch.
Thanks, Lee. Jordan, Chris, and then Kieran, please.
Morning, Eddie. I mean, you felt the pain of losing Elliot Anderson last summer, so how determined does that make you keep Lewis Miley at this football club for years to come?
Yeah, I think there is definite parallels there between Louis and Elliot, although they've had different journeys. Yeah, the Elliot situation I've commented on a lot. Probably shouldn't comment on that anymore. But I think from Louis's perspective, yeah, I'm determined to keep him here. I'm determined for him to have the career at Newcastle that I think he can have and have the effect that he can have long term and become synonymous really with the football club for many years to come. That's my hope and my wish. But of course, Louis will be the determining factor in that, in terms of how much he wants to be here, how his career continues to develop, what he gives to his training and development, etc. So, but I think he showcased his skills really well on Saturday and what he's capable of doing. The confidence levels needed to execute that need to be very high, and I think he delivered a really good performance and played really well with the players around him.
Yeah, and in terms of Lewis's game time this season, I think it's been 5 starts. Has he been disappointed by that at all? Or does he understand the situation because of the competition and also his development as well?
I think he's had good minutes this year. I think there's loads of different ways you could analyse those. You said 5 starts, but I think if you look at the minutes and put all competitions together, I think he's had good football. So, no, I'm pleased with his development. I'm trusting him in big games because he's showing me in training that he deserves that trust. And then, of course, there's always a huge responsibility. The biggest responsibility is on Louis to keep performing.
Chris.
Morning, Eddie. I don't think you've been asked in a while, and it's now the 1st of December, so I'm going to ask you about transfers. And you said previously there hadn't really been discussions, but there is just a month until the window opens. Have discussions started ramping up ahead of next month? Well,
thank you for bringing that back up, Chris. That's lovely. No, we haven't had discussions yet, but we will, and we will very soon, because we need to be across everything that's going to happen in January. We never quite know what the month will look like. You can have a vision of it being quiet or the opposite, and the reality can be very different. So we need to be across it. We need to be prepared for all eventualities.
Are you aware of if there is money to invest, and also are you keen to bring someone in if possible? You said before you like to freshen in every squad if you can.
Always would love to, whether it's bring someone in, but keep the squad fresh, and that will be a feeling that you have from within. So yeah, every window our sort of outlook is to be active. How that looks, I've got no idea. And finances, I haven't had those discussions yet. So, but as I say, we will do in the next few days.
Thanks, Chris. Kieran?
Morning. A quality fullback might cost 50 million plus right now. Can I just ask you about the work that's gone into Lewis and Tino since they joined? Obviously, it was a bit of a slow burner at first maybe, but it's paying off now, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's the same with the player, though. I think from our perspective, we bring players in and then the work starts regardless of age. The work starts in trying to develop them and help them fulfill their potential, whether they need sort of moulding into our style of play or development in one key area. Those players you talk about, we've worked with a lot in different areas of their game, depending on what they've needed. I think we've seen good outcomes from that. I think really good progression in their careers. I think they both showcased that again really well on Saturday. I thought they both in different ways played really, really well. But that'll be the same if you look at some of the signings we made this summer, taking, say, for example, Anthony Elanga, Jacob Ramsey could possibly follow a similar path where bit of patience, work behind the scenes, and then you see them flourish in the team quite quickly. And we really believe in all those players.
Something completely different. There's been a bit of discussion in the league about goalkeeper timeouts after the Leeds Man City game. A player goes down injured. Should outfield players be able to receive instructions? I don't know. Have you any opinion on it yourself?
I think it happens. It happens all over the Premier League. I don't think it's something new. I think it's been happening for a long time.
Okay, Sean, to finish, please.
Morning, Eddie. You've mentioned Anthony Langer's performance a couple of times. I think that was his first start in the league since October 18, so he's had quite a bit of a sort of watching brief recently. How much do you think that's helped him sort of get used to the Newcastle way, as you put it earlier?
Yeah, I think he's had a mixture. I think he's had, like a lot of the players have had with the schedule of games, it's been a bit in and out for him. Well, it seems in and out, but obviously we're playing every 3-4 days. So, but I think sometimes when you come to a new club and you end up watching the games from the sideline can really help you understand what's needed and what's required at that club, how the team play. You're watching and learning and soaking it in, and then you're able to execute your own respective skills in that way, maybe slightly easier. So I think sometimes that can help, but of course Anthony will want to play and we will want to help him in every way that we can fulfill his potential here. I think there's good signs. Hopefully that's just a start for him.
And in recent weeks, youngsters Alex Murphy and Sean Neave have been involved in the squad quite a bit. How confident would you be, if needed, to throw them in when it's such a busy schedule coming up this month?
Well, every player is going to be needed, and regardless of age, regardless of experience, there may be a time when they're called upon, and we would trust on them to deliver. And I think Alex has been around us for a long time. Alex Murphy's been training with us now for a while. He's had good loan experience. I really like Alex. I think he's got a lot of strengths and potential. So let's wait and see. And then with Sean again, he's another player that's been training with us for a period of time. He's got the ability to score a goal, and he's with us on merit. So let's wait and see.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are live here on NUFC Talk, and that was the Eddie Howe press conference. So, what did you make of it, lads? It's me, it's Gary, and it's Corey and Sam, of course, on this. So, where's the mighty win at? Did he not get the memo? Did he not get the memo, man? It's live it up to him to not show up to work, man. He's as reliable as... You know what? Anyway, let's continue. So that was Eddie Howe's presser. So what do you make of it? A lot of Pope excuses. I'm not buying that horse.
Was it the presser or was it the Pope? It seems like the Pope presser, wasn't it? It was more like...
Yeah, it was a lot of it. Yeah. Because people don't believe him about Nick Pope's injury. It's just too convenient. And quite honestly, it feels that way.
Yeah.
I keep hearing myself, so somebody needs to turn on maybe the... I think it may be Corey's headsets that he keep bouncing back from. But
is it me?
No. I think it's Corey's his headset's feeding back. But anyways, so what do you guys make of that? Other than being the Pope presser.
I'm going to say, apart from the Pope presser. I mean, there was a couple of good things he said in there. And the one thing that I did highlight was when he was discussing more or less the facts about minutes being played. And then he mentioned, if you remember, the West Ham Brentford game. And it sounded to me as if he'd gone for the tried and trusted team rather than rotating the players for fresh players. And I think that, to me, said that he went with the tried and trusted, thinking he was going to get the same output, the same effort, if you like, given 100+%, and it backfired. It backfired massively on him. We didn't get the results. We certainly didn't get the performance. And it sounds to me now as though he has gone, as we've seen against the Everton team, where he is looking to give players, even the likes of Tonali, who seems to be our best midfielder, the one that we all look to start virtually every game, even Tonali on the bench. I want to start seeing that type of effect to the likes of Bruno, because Bruno to me sometimes plays far too many minutes and he's in and out the games far too much for me. And I think that could be the effects of, again, playing too many minutes. So I think if he starts going forward into the new year, having that mentality where he's reliant on what the analysts are saying, what the medical team are saying, what the output's going to be, and he goes with fresh impetus in every game, I think you'll see a bit of a difference in our output as a squad. And I like that from Eddie. It sounds as though he's learnt something by his continued mistakes.
Well, really, the funny part is the only game that really he did rest Bruno was against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup. It was him and Joel Linton. Tonali was the one that started with Willock, and I think it was Ramsey at that time from memory. Or was it Marley? One of the two. But that was the only game. Yeah, it might have been Marley. So I think that's the only game that he has rested him. Look, let's just hope it doesn't rest him against Tottenham. I mean, if you want to rest him against Burnley. I think that's a more winnable game for us. But I think we need our full strength side against Tottenham tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I mean, getting points tomorrow is also important. The thing is, we're in a predicament now where every point is kind of very important. It is. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to say because you don't get really time to celebrate. The Everton game, and so you're gonna have to start getting points, of course. But Everton was a must win, if you will, and we did it. So that is, you can't be not happy with that performance.
No.
We're still very much player driven though. Meaning, I mean, I guess you could say it's an obvious thing. When the players want to turn up, we win. How long is that going to last? Is the issue. Go on, Corey.
Yeah, we just touched on that. Like we said at the start of the top of this show this morning, that I think Eddie's got to get some serious praise. We've criticised nearly every decision he's made this season, but I think some serious praise has to come his way as well for, having the cojones to drop Tonali in a game that was as big as this Everton game. So he has to be respected and get a big ups for that one. But the only thing I'm worried about with this is, with consistency comes, playing some of these players together more regularly. So the only thing I'm worried about now is that against this Tottenham game, is Bruno going to get dropped? Are we going to see J7 come in? So it's going to be a new look midfield again for a third time. But as long as the players can adapt and get used to playing with new players, I think it's only going to be a benefit to rest players. But I just don't want that to come at the cost of players becoming unfamiliar with patterns and everything like that. So I'm all for change and rotation, but let's not try and do it too often, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I think tonight is the starter still. I don't think that's the issue, but I think I go more towards what Gary was talking about Bruno. Bruno for a long time went on about this many amount of Premier League games and how historic and all of that, but we got to look at how many games are really that good. A number is a number. It's basically how many times the manager puts you on the pitch. Doesn't really mean you're killing it every game. And he certainly hasn't been looking that great. He's so inconsistent though. He's so inconsistent, Bruno.
Yeah.
So it's hard to look past that as well.
Yeah, I understand what Corey's saying. Continuity sometimes gives you success, but also continuity as a team when you're playing, especially in a congested season like we've got this season. You've got virtually a whole season in a 4-month block. That's a lot of minutes for a lot of players to perform back to back. And, you think Eddie Howe has brought these players in for a reason. He knows, or he expects, these players that he has brought in, he has to trust because they're his players. Nobody else has bought these. You can't point the finger at any other person and say, well, I've tried to get something out of him, but he wasn't the player that I was looking for. That's what I'm saying. And he talks constantly about trusting the process. We have to trust that what we do is to get the best out of players. And for me, what we've seen is too many players being carried at times. Because again, is it fatigue? Is it the mental fatigue more than physical fatigue? Because you can recover, but what you can't recover from is that mental fatigue. When you hit the wall, sometimes that 5% drop off, if that goes across 5 or 6 players, shows a massive amount in a game of 90 minutes. So you have to have freshness in legs. You have to have freshness in mentality to keep that continuity going. And for me, that is a massive thing that Eddie's learnt, I believe, from those back-to-back games with Brentford and West Ham.
You know what's very interesting as well. Like you look at, I think the club that has done the best was Arsenal. They didn't look at trying to win trophies. They didn't. All they tried to do was make Champions League, build that squad. Now you look at it, man. If they were to lose 3 of the midfield, they put on another 3 world-class ones. Like that's the aim that we should be looking at. Like try to assemble a squad the way Arsenal have assembled a squad, because that squad right now is absolutely deadly. No matter who goes in, it's literally a world-class player that's coming in. And that's what we should be aiming at. I mean, as much as we'd love to win cups and do that sort of stuff, our biggest thing right now should be finishing in that top 4 yet again, just so we can try and assemble a team.
Yeah. I think I 100% agree with that. By the way, I just want to let the folks know that you can call us and have your say about the current presser if you want to. 01-916-8864. Call us right now. Have your say about what Eddie Howe had to say, or anything that you wanna get out of, that you wanna vent. But you mentioned Arsenal, and they rely on their young teams a lot. I mean, not that they are extremely important to the point where they have to play every game or the most important games, but this 16-year-old that they play all the time, this Lewis Kelly kid that they play all the time. They constantly put them on the pitch in important games here and there, because they rotate and make sure, look, he's in the first team, so he's got to be worth something. So put him on there, and they don't have any issues with him. So we gotta follow suit. We gotta rotate. We gotta give these kids time. It doesn't mean that Tonali doesn't play ever again, but you don't have to be this literal black and white all the time.
No, exactly. And when you've got somebody like Miley who's had lots of minutes, and like Eddie did keep going back and saying it's about managing minutes with Miley, and it's about we don't realise how many minutes he's had already because of the different competitions that he's been in. I understand that, but there's other midfielders that he's brought in now. That can also do a job for you. You've got Miley who can fluctuate between the 6 and the 8. And again, we talk about the way Eddie Howe sets his tactics up. He doesn't sit with a 6. He doesn't sit with an 8. He doesn't play with a 10, because he's expecting the 3 midfielders to fit the void. Whatever the ball is, he wants them to go and impact that area of the field with that set 3 in the midfield. So I do understand that. And again, I'll go back to the point where he's brought the players in that he believes can fill all of those 3 roles. So why don't we see, the likes of Ramsey playing a more central role when Bruno's had or needs a rest? For me, I see Bruno on the field far too much. And like I say, he can create a lot of problems, our own problems, because of the way he goes to ground too much in dangerous positions and don't always get the call. So for me, I would like to see Bruno's place under a little bit more threat, because I think you'd get an extra 5% out of Bruno.
Yeah, that extra 5% would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And we've also got the quality in those positions. I think in midfield, we have probably the most flexibility to rotate those positions. And every time that we've done it this season, we've seen it in the Tottenham game, and we've seen it in this recent Everton game where we've taken away one of these main 3. And evidently, 2 of our best performances of the season came against Tottenham in the Cup and Everton as of late. The Marseille game, you can't really say that, because the whole system was different, not just the midfield 3. So it's a very good point. In both games that we have rotated, the big 3 in midfield, some of our best performances. So I don't think it's going to come at any disadvantage. Probably an advantage, to be honest, to give one of those 3 something to think about when they're not playing.
I think for me, the concern, and again, I go back to the January window when he was probed regarding, have we got a little bit of a pocket to go and put some change in, type of thing, regarding players coming in and freshen it up. I think it'll be an absolutely crazy system when you look at how our fullbacks are and the limitations within our fullbacks when you talk about depth of squad and forwards. I mean, for me, midfield is sorted, even though I still think I would love to see a perfect 6, somebody who can just come in and take control of that 6 area just to release the lads going forward. but I think that could come at a later date. I think the priority for me must be a fullback. It certainly must be a versatile fullback, somebody who can probably jump from right to left at a time. And I'd also consider looking at another centre forward, because at the end of the day, if Wissa comes back, you know, there is still talk that Asula could go to Frankfurt and release a little bit of funds. If that does come true, depending on what speculation you want, but I still don't think Asula is the answer. And I think if he's got a little bit of change to go with, I think there's two areas for me that could improve our season going forward.
What's the other thing, Gary, as well? It's reported by Pete O'Rourke late last night that there's multiple stories, not just his own, that Asula is probably looking for a move in January or next summer. So I think that number 9 is an absolute necessity. But like Gary says, I think before we even think about a striker, before we think about any other wingers, the fullbacks is an absolute, it's a must do, because we've got Kraft.
Well, if Asula leaves, we need another striker.
100%. But the thing with me right now is we've seen how much we're affected without these fullbacks in. And let's not forget, we've got an agent Kraft, we've got an agent Trippier, both of which who are out of contract at the end of this season. So it just has to be a priority. And I don't think one fullback does it. I think we need both on either side, to be honest.
Mate, I'd rather Dan Burn at left back than not having another striker and putting Anthony Gordon up there. No.
Well, you definitely know that you can't really trust Trippier anymore. You can't really rely on him because, I mean, he's just been hurt. He is going to continue to get hurt, you know, sporadically here and there. So you're going to have somebody there. Like right now, you know, he's hurt, and it keeps happening. You know, so. What do you guys make? Do you guys believe though about the Nick Pope situation? Because if it's injury, then you would expect him to come back at some point.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he actually is injured. I mean, I don't get why the club and Eddie Howe will come out and say, "Oh, he got injured." Why wouldn't you just say, "Oh, we just dropped him and he had the shits"? But
that's the other thing. I don't think Pope would be happy about the club making fake stories either. So I'm almost certain it's got to be an injury. I don't think they've just made.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a very convenient thing at the moment to say.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if he's done an Isaac and he said that he's got a pull.
He says he's hurt.
So yeah, any player that goes to the gaffer, right, and says, you know, and again, sometimes mentally it's easy for the player to pull away from a game rather than push himself for a game. If he's been affected by what happened in Marseille in France, you know, it could be the fact that he has just held his hand up and said, you know what, I've got a bit of a pull at the back of my leg. I'm not sure, you know, whether I could go back to back this weekend. Go and have a scan on it. So it more or less infuses both tales, if you like. And I'm not saying Pope has all of a sudden made an excuse, because, you know, he could have had this niggle at the back of his leg, which happens, you know, but it could be just fatigue, because sometimes that also occurs. And mentally, as Pope just held his hand up and say, you know what, Gaffer, I'm going to sit this one out.
Mate, it was fatigue because of how far he ran out of the goal.
Yeah, he pulled a hamstring. He thought he was Usain Bolt.
We've been fatigued too. Watching Pope all season.
Even him losing it whenever he's seen Aubameyang run past him, it's like I think he pulled a little bit of a voice cord as well.
It was when Aubameyang run past him and he did the Usain Bolt. I'm like, what? Hold on, what's the pose for, lad? You've got to get the ball first. You know what I mean? It was criminal.
It was a horrible. That was a very, very bad mistake, man.
And I must admit, you know, as you heard from the presses there, it happened again with the Spurs keeper. But he was having an absolute.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah. It was an absolute hell.
I reckon it was just like, mate, Hope, hold me beer. I'll show you something better.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a shocker.
The school of Pope plus that was, wasn't it? And again, you know, you look at it, the pressure's on these boys, you know, to perform. And that's what I said. Vicario, I think, is a keeper, you know, of a skill set. But when you come onto your left-hand side, down that left-hand wing, unless you've got a left foot, it's very difficult to like dink a ball running laterally to the pitch, and then obviously trying to get the ball down the line. You'd have been so much wiser just to take a touch out your feet and just hoof it into the crowd and get back into position.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that goalkeepers of this level are doing that because they think that's the best option. I honestly think they just don't trust the defenders around them to cover it, and that's why they're going. Because you can't be at that level of goalkeeping and making decisions that poor. Like, I just think it must come to either they don't trust the defenders around them or something like that, because it's concerning if that's just a lapse in judgment.
It's pressure, mate.
Well,
That's what it is. It is pressure.
Yeah, pressure.
I also don't buy this. Fans booing their goalkeeper. I mean, what's making? I don't understand what's news breaking about that. I mean, they boo any other player just like the goalkeeper is part of the team. If they mess up, they boo them. If they mess up really badly, they're gonna boo them just like they boo any other player. I mean, I don't. This is part. It's part of the job, man. It's not really that. To me, breaking news and how dare the fans boo a player? I mean, it's just they're fans. So I mean, they either boo or cheer.
Do you go back to what Corey said though? Is this the pressure? And in today's age, we talk about pet football and everything else. Is the pressure on the goalkeepers now to be part of that football team rather than just do?
Well, of course.
But that's the problem, isn't it? You get criticised by the gaffer who's paying your wages every week or keeps you in goal if you don't perform at a level. So there's pressure from both sides.
Yeah, man, you gotta do a job. That's why I still don't buy this nonsense that Pope can't play with his feet, so you gotta adjust to Pope. No, a Pope the players need to adjust to whatever the manager wants them to, and use common sense. If you're trying to play from the back, that doesn't mean every single play. Use common sense, man. If you need to hoof it. It's not really. They're not robots. We say they're not robots when it comes to feelings and when it comes to you got to understand them because they're not robots. So they can make a mistake here and there. That's fine. But they're also not robots when you tell them this is how we do. We're gonna play from the back. That doesn't mean that's 100% of the time. You also have to make executive decisions every now and then. So it's I don't buy the. What they're trying to do with Vicario, you can argue whether that's too soon or too early to start booing players or whatever. But that's fans. That's up to them, man. We don't get to determine what fans do on the pitch. Listen, you go in South America, it's a lot tougher than that. They don't just boo. They call you other things. So
yeah.
Come on, man.
They also shoot you.
Do a few other things. Yeah, get the buddies. They get the weapons out, mate.
That's in the 90s, though. That's back in the 90s. In the 90s, used to be a lot more a lot rougher. Go on, Tim.
Yeah, no, I just feel like with the goalkeepers these days, it's not even like now as they are growing up, they are teaching them to play with their feet. Well, with Pope, during his era, because you got to remember, he's not young anymore. He has gone a bit old. But they never used to play that way. So they never used to use the goalkeeper, go back and try play out the back. That's whenever Pep came, sort of thing. So now, the more, obviously, the younger goalkeepers, you're going to see them a lot better with their feet because they're training them to pass with their feet. So I don't really blame Pope for not being able to pass because, I mean, as you get older, it's harder to learn things. But
yeah, man.
Still in saying that.
Listen, if I made up my job, IT 20 years ago is not the same as IT now. If you're not going to learn what's happening now, you're going to get sacked. So I'm not saying he needs to be messy with his feet, but he's got to be able to do something, man. And, this is the only job in the world where we get to say, well, I can't learn no more. I'm not buying that, man. I'm not buying it. And but listen,
there was a part the other day though that I was watching the keeper training. Right, there was somebody I don't know whether it was one of the journos that were at the training ground, and there was panning across the field of play, and you could see Pope, Ramsdale, Ruddy. I think it was Alex Thompson. And I don't know whether it was Gillespie. There was another one just outside of view that you couldn't see. And they were passing it in triangles. So it was like, control it with one foot, pass it square with the other foot, control with one foot. And they'd go backwards and forwards. And the biggest it looked good. You know what I mean? You couldn't see that there was miscontrolling or anything like that. But it's so different when you are under pressure. When the ball's being fizzed back at you at a bit of pace, you've got to put, you've got to touch, and then you've got to get rid of. It's so different.
Believe me, together we can change history.
I can't be bothered with all this YouTube politics, to be honest.
You are knackered.
We are knackered.
Howie, man, what's the matter with you, man?
What are you doing? You sent me a message last night saying 10:30.
Yeah, man, but that excludes match days and pressers, man.
Knackered.
What?
I forgot all about the presser, to tell you the truth. I've just got out of the land and nod.
Oh, wait, man. I know you did. I can tell. Oh, my God. Well, let me tell you, listen, man. Unbelievable, this guy. Unbelievable.
Come on, prove that we're wangers.
Well, listen, we had a whole presser here, to do, man. Just to let you know.
Win, what did you make about Eddie Howe's comments?
I haven't even heard Eddie Howe's comments, so I look forward to watching.
Pop-up quiz, man. Don't you hate those pop-up quizzes when you go to school? As soon as you show up, man, they get
let me guess. It's down to the players. We've got a squad. We know we've got to use it. We've always used it. Nick Pope, he'll be back in a month's time.
Well, at least you know that how Eddie Howe's a liar, but it's been mostly about Nick Pope to be fair, because I'm pretty sure there's a reason why there's 20 questions about Nick Pope, because nobody buys the fact that they say he's injured. We're trying to.
What's the official verdict now that he's had his scan?
Well, he didn't even bring that up. Nobody asked about the scan.
No, they sent him to get some scans.
Yeah, inconclusive. I think it is.
I guess they're using the NHS. They're gonna still wait.
There's nothing there.
Pope's waiting, sitting down somewhere.
Pope's still in A&E. He's still waiting.
Waiting on Ramsdale to make a stinker for Fords to come in.
Yeah.
Pope's definitely fit.
So what did you guys think about?
I'll just go back to bed. Let you lads get on with it.
We're about to be done.
Oh, you just made the show interesting, Win.
Exactly. What did you guys think about Wissa coming back then, behind the scenes footy?
Yeah. Well, that was a big one. Yeah, he said join Wissa plays in the behind closed doors 11 versus 11. Striker came through unscathed and will play in another one this week. So,
potentially against Scunthorpe in the under-21. So I'm trying to find if that's on TV somewhere. So I'll let you know.
I don't want him coming out against Scunthorpe. He's going to get his knees kicked in.
I reckon he'll make his debut against Burnley.
Yeah, potentially.
It'll be. I mean, I guess he could be ready by this weekend. Which is what?
Look, if he comes back against Burnley,
I was seriously thinking that Wissa could probably have been fit already, and I thought there might be, keeping him back so that he couldn't get not playing him so that he couldn't get called up for the Cup of Nations.
He'll get called up regardless because it's still another.
No. Well, as I said, my attitude's always been it'll be down to him, and if he wants to go and play for his country in a World Cup and in the ANC, well, good on him.
Well, if it's too, I mean, because I think the African thing is way in months' time or something like that. I mean, you can't really stretch it that long.
Well, but the country are allowed under FIFA regulations. The countries are allowed to call the players up 3 weeks before the first game.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's healthy,
they normally don't. They normally come to some arrangements, but by the rules, they're entitled to.
Mm. Yeah, unfortunately, I think he'll go anyway. Go on.
Look, I think we signed Wissa just to do the media sort of stuff. I mean, that's what he's been great at so far.
He's going to be our new social experiment, is he?
Yeah,
social media manager, mate.
He's worked out well, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's probably going to stand in the midst of Amiobi on these social events. That's what he's going to be. He's going to be the handshaker. Hello, everybody. I am here in Newcastle.
But I reckon all day, long day, mate, all they're doing is eating apples.
Mate, the two most expensive club ambassadors in any football's history, these two blokes at the moment.
But you know what is uncanny, if you look at, again, all the talk and everything else that's going on, he seems to have actually gelled in this squad really well, because he's the one out of all of them that you see, especially when the cameras are on them, when the lads are coming in after a good win against Everton, as you saw the weekend. He's the one who's laughing and joking, arms around players. He seems to be that bubbly character. He seems to be that one who's going to bounce off players and bring a different vibe to the system. I mean, I love the Malik Chow and Voltamada. As you saw the goals, it was superb for them two coming together, doing the hand slaps and everything else. There's such a good balance of players now within that squad. I think this could take us to that next level. Botman is another story
more than
for
a
me.
clown, mate.
Listen, man. My point still maintains. You gotta have the Berlin Wall there, from coast to coast, one on one end, the other one on the other. So, Walter and Chow, and that's the thing now, because Wissa is supposedly come back into this team no matter what. And I don't see that. I don't see that. The moment you fed Voltamada, he scored. He's done the job. So he's gonna have to play somewhere else, in my opinion. Wissa is, if he's gonna be a starter, and I don't know where. Other than I don't know where.
Why not drop Voldemar a bit behind him, so as a centre forward, or we use him like I said, 4-2-3-1.
You go again. You're still gonna have to drop somebody.
Jolinton.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's fine. That's but you gotta tell Eddie Howe that, because he doesn't drop him whatsoever. He drops everybody. He drops Sonali before Jolinton. So, that's a good question. Although I still maintain that Voltamada needs to be up there as a striker. And so what do you mean myth? He dropped He's dropped Sonali before Jolinton.
Nonsense.
So what's the myth?
Jolinton didn't play in, what do you call it, last week, or against Marseille. He didn't play not 1 minute against Marseille.
Yeah, but you everybody can say that's the rotation squad. That's the where when he rotated and he didn't play the players that he usually play.
Yeah, because he can now.
As well against Tottenham, he didn't play him either in the Carabao Cup. Him and Jolinton and what do you call it didn't play.
Yeah. Those the two games he rotated. The 2 games he rotated the whole season. What about the other one? What do you mean, man?
Yeah. Chris.
You can't tell me that Jolinton doesn't seem one of the favorites. He clearly does. And he's probably been called out to be dropped more.
Yeah, he's probably
one of the favorites.
Like tackle someone else. I don't know.
You can tell the squad doesn't perform, and you need quality. He doesn't take Jolinton out. I mean, it's simple, but it's there. I'm not trying to.
No, Jolinton brings something to the squad that nobody.
So
brings.
We're now saying Jolinton doesn't bring quality, are we?
No,
he doesn't. What do you mean? Is that's what we're now saying? What do you mean, man? What planet are you living on? When
he cannot, he does not. All he does is bring that energy and that.
He knocks people out, man.
That's my point.
And whenever
as a professional footballer, if you don't have quality, you're not.
Well, listen, we're talking about professional football. Quality. We're not talking about. He doesn't bring you footballing quality, because the moment he gets a yellow card in the first 10 minutes, then his game is over, because now he has to watch his back, because the next one he's sent off. So that is easy to maneuver if you're the opposition. And if you're losing, for example, like we've been this entire season, where we need, we get the lead, we give it away, and then we have to be proactive. He doesn't offer anything. He doesn't.
I mean, everybody's right, I suppose, because Jolinton does bring something different to that midfield, but he's not the best footballer. And I think what you saw with Miley, and that was my argument for me, is the fact that you've got a young kid there who has the grace and the ability to go far. He could be the next Elliot Anderson, if we give him the game time and the continuity of games within reason. Again, he's still a young kid. He's got to still develop. But Eddie Howe has praised him a lot. He said, playing with that midfield trio, if you like, training week in, week out. He's still learning. But what I saw against Everton, and V for Vendetta's just put in there, we beat a very poor Everton side. Were they poor against Man U and down to 10 men and still held out for a 1-0? Or did they leave everything out there on the field of play against Man U? Or was we just far too strong for them in our game? And that was Moyes'. That's their coach, head coach's statement. We were too powerful.
Listen, I mean, I said it before the Everton game. We should be beating Everton away. I know they beat Man U and all of that, and people say that they beat Man U, so they're going to beat us. I didn't, because I think that we got the players to be again the standards of fighting for Champions League, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Everton are where they are. Really, they're not really overachieving, or I guess you can say not even underachieving. So I think they're where they're supposed to be. We should beat them away, and we did that. We did that. So we got much better quality than they have. It's just plain and simple. I don't care about when. He went on a date with Gladys before, so he thinks Gladys was going to beat us. They don't even play at Gladys no more. They play at their new stadium. So it's all of that. It's irrelevant. We beat them and we got the job done. The problem with Newcastle is Newcastle's problem. Newcastle gets in Newcastle's way this whole season. We don't play up to our standards. We don't play up to our qualities, and that's been the problem all season. When we do, we beat anybody. Like Moy said, 100%. We're the strongest team probably in the league, aside from Arsenal or wherever. That's something that I didn't even pay attention to be fair. But he does have a great point. We got old gladiators, man, up front, at the back, in the middle when you want to put Joe Linton. So we got bodybuilders all over the place. But that's the one way of looking at it that I haven't. So good job, Moy.
I think you've got to look at it from where we are. If you look at our players. For me, there's players for games. And I think if you've got the likes of, when you go and play the likes of Wolves, who have got, what's the two Brazilians, haven't they, in the midfield, that like to hang, like to put the foot in and everything else. Them are the types of players where you need to upset that midfield balance. Somebody who's got a bit of a grit. The likes of Chelsea, where they've got the likes of Caicedo, again, got red carded last night for leaving his foot in. Somewhere where you want to throw a little bit of weight around. But against teams like Marseille, who haven't got that grit, that nastiness about them, sometimes footballers get you the job done because you can pass and move. And like I say, for me, the balance has to be playing the right players at the right time in the right formation.
Yeah, that's right. Like for example, mate, Joe Linton brings that aggression. That's what I've been saying. But he doesn't create anything for the team other than that aggression and sort of hypes up the team. But when you put Lewis Miley on, whenever you put Lewis Miley on, our midfield just looks so much smoother. I mark my words, Gary. Lewis Miley will be in the midfield for England within the next 3 years.
Woo! Woo!
I'm telling you.
We shall see.
Well, he's gonna be great. He needs to be given time, just like Arsenal. Just like you said earlier, Arsenal give their kids time. You got to give them time, putting them on the pitch. I'm talking about time on the pitch, not time waiting just for him to. You got to give them time on the pitch, like Arsenal does their kids, and they don't have a problem. They're fighting for the league, so why can't we? Give them time, and also adds a little bit of competitiveness with the lads on the pitch. Listen, we got to call it a day, but we'll be back again at 7:30 UK with the early night show, and then early night show, and then the late night show. So join us 7:30 p.m. UK, ladies and gents. Probably when we'll be on time, we don't know that. So we might be with Glad still at Everton. But we never know. But thank you very much, lads. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Sadin. Thank you, Mighty Wayne. Thank you, Gary.
Who we should be beating away, but who outspent us in the summer.
Outspent us in the summer? Everton.
Everton.
Yeah, how many players they bought? Like 20? 25 players they bought with 200 million? Yeah, well, compared to us, we supposedly bought quality. And we should be beating them away.
They bought a striker that can't shoot a goal.
Oh wait, man! Win just wants to throw a diagram of money. He just a bag of money onto the pitch, and all of a sudden that bag of money is supposed to score. That's how it works. That's how football works with him. But anyways, he's trying new things. I told you guys.
That's why you're not our recruitment manager, mate.
Okay, now, man. Anyways, folks, we'll be back later tonight, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Join us tonight. See you later, folks.
See you,
Ciao, ciao.